Hello and welcome to another update video about QNT. So QNT did develop really well since my last video. That setup that we had on the chart here and that we discussed in the last video absolutely smashed it. We talked about this trend reversal area in the last video. The price was in the area and I highlighted it as relevant area of support, out of which the price could rally to create a higher wave for, possibly with a target at the top of the trend channel. We talked in that video about the possibility that this could have been an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave. I still see this as a possibility. Yeah, so it could indeed be that this was an ABC and a wave 4. That setup so far worked out. I will hide this now. I don't need this box anymore. It's not relevant anymore. Since then, the price moved up. When the price peaked, I did release the member-only opportunities video and highlighted the target for the next move down. We reached that yesterday already. Yeah, so I think on the same day, on Tuesday, I made that video late in the evening. On Wednesday, we reached the target already, and we've already turned around. Yeah, this is again the next trend reversal area here. Again, this would have been a successful trade. However, now obviously it needs to deliver. I don't fully believe yet that we're already on the way up. And I have to be very honest with you, QNT is in a situation here where it can literally do anything. But that's not a problem if we know the setups. As I always say, we have a bearish and a bullish case. Don't trade the primary scenario, trade the setups. Those would have been 2 profitable trades, maybe even 3. Because pretty much at the top, close to the top, I gave that target of the orange box. However, where are we now in terms of the wave counts? So we have the following count here on the chart. The count indicates that we're currently in a C wave to the downside. That's absolutely still valid, even though that 4th wave moved up a little bit too much for me. But as I said before, if it's a diagonal, this C wave, then you can get an overlap between waves 1 and 4. That's not a problem. And that would indicate that now, basically in the next few days, maybe next week, we are going to see the 5th wave unfold, which should drop below the orange support area, below the long trade setup area, and break below $112. And then follow through, I would say at least to $100. Or into the larger support area starting at $94. But $100 will definitely be a critical area of support. And then we will have 5 waves possibly complete. And this setup ABC would work out. However, we also have a bullish count available, and that's still possible. I did highlight it in the last video that it is still possible to count it as a so-called 1-2, 1-2 setup, which would be the more bullish one. For this scenario, however, we've come down a little bit too low to make it highly likely. It is possible though, yeah, and it's not so unlikely that I would not consider it. So that's also a scenario. Basically this 1-2, 1-2, a very bullish setup that would be, and we would then rally in a 3rd wave here to $200 plus. In that case, we would count the decline that started here in January as an ABC complete, and now the 1st wave to the upside, and then here the wave 2, and now higher. Yeah, so this was the, let's call it the wave 2 setup. It reached it can still go into the area again. As you can see here, it only really touched the 50% retracement. Ideally you would see it come down. Well, no, it did what it needed to do, actually, to be honest. Yeah, it came down because in the more bullish scenario, as I said, I can count this as a wave 1, this here as the wave 2, did what it needs to do in a wave 2, could now rally in a 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and so on. So these are the 2 scenarios. Again, as I said, it can literally do anything. The problem is the move down is very likely because it broke a key level here before. I think it was $114. Now it reclaimed that quite quickly, which is why I'm not ruling out the more bullish breakout case. But it's currently in the trend channel. It hasn't broken out of the channel, so a direct move down is also likely. So what do you do if you have the bullish and the bearish count? As I said, if you want to trade it, trade the setup. Eventually, eventually on this chart, and we are quite close to that level anyway, but as long as we are above $61, I see upside, yeah, in the third wave. And we're also going to talk about that sort of stuff in the strategy live stream, how to trade Elliott waves and how I do things. But we are very close to support anyway. And if someone's really interested in the larger waves, I mean, I'm just saying strategy-wise, how I treat these situations where we have a bit of uncertainty. So either I avoid it because the setup isn't entirely clear, or we have a large range here, yeah, going all the way down to $61. Below that level, this sort of pink wave 2 isn't going to work out, and then we're probably going to make new bear market lows. So it can make sense to scale in. Yeah, anybody who's interested in a larger swing trade, starting now basically with a small position, but going larger as we go lower, and then having a stop loss below the box. Yes, that can lead to around about a 50% drop, but it's not about that, because the reward, yeah, I mean, you talk here about, yes, you know, basically, if it comes down and drops below $60, you lose like $60. Yeah, just keep it simple. If you bought one QNT, but the possible reward of that trade, I mean, if this really works out and we have a wave 2 in, I mean, this can go to new all-time high. So the reward to risk is still favorable. But in terms of risk management, you need to manage your position size. So because we're quite far from the relevant stop loss level, below which the whole chart will turn bearish, because below $61, the whole chart will turn bearish, then you need to consider how much do you actually want to lose per trade, or do you just buy spot position for the long term, you know? But that's why I like this kind of triangle style so much. Yeah, basically on the way down, you're catching the falling knife, but you manage risk by understanding the key Fibonacci support levels. We had a 5-wave move up of the June lows. So, you know, it's not like simply catching the falling knife. You're actually using trend analysis and Fib levels for key support and position sizing and risk management in order to protect your losses and your account. But yeah, that is sort of the situation that we have here on the, you know, in terms of QNT. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.